In this walkthrough, you will learn about data connections in Power Automate. Power Automate uses connections to connect to the hundreds of available data sources. Everyday data sources like SharePoint and Excel, to social media resources like Twitter or YouTube, and even other business tools like Salesforce and Dropbox. This allows you to bring automation to your business data where it lives today. And these connections aren't just for Power Automate. They are also shared with Power Apps. Speaking of sharing, you can also leverage the on-premises data gateway to connect to your on-premises data sources. Querying on-premises SQL, SharePoint, file shares, and more allow you to add to the robustness of your automations. All combined, there's over 400 different data connections today that you can make using Power Automate. To get started, let's navigate back to flow.microsoft.com and take a look at our options. From the Power Automate homepage, we can expand the data bar on the left, and then we can click on Connections. After a moment, you might load to a screen like this if you've never created a connection before, or if you have previously created connections, you'll see them listed. Either way, to create a new connection, we're going to use the New button at the top of the screen. And now you're going to see the list of all the connections available. So you could scroll through this list to find the different connectors you might want to use. You also have the ability over on the top right to click on Search and then type in something like SQL and see the different type of SQL connections you can make. We can X out of that. And so once you find the connector that you'd like to connect to, then it's as simple as clicking the plus symbol over here to the right. After you click on the Create, what will happen is you'll then be prompted to authenticate with that particular data source. So you'll see different options depending on the data source that you've chosen. In this case, I've chosen SharePoint. And if I say connect directly to cloud services, then we can click on Create. Then you'll see a pop-up screen here where you can choose the account you want to authenticate with. So I'm logged in as Patty, so I'm logged in as Patty here. And just like that, we now have a connection that we can use in our flows or in our Power Apps that connects to SharePoint using my Patty F credentials. If we do another new connection and we choose SharePoint again, this time let's look at what if you want to connect to an on-premises data gateway. So here in the radio button, you choose Connect using on-premises data gateway. And then you'll see here now that you have to choose the authentication type, the account credentials you want to use to authenticate, and then a gateway that you'd previously installed. Not something we cover here, but it is a reminder that you will see this ability to interact with gateways if that is available to your given connector. Let's cancel out of there. And let's search for that SQL connector again. So we'll do SQL, and let's go and create this one. And so one thing I want to remind you once again is that you're going to see different options here. So because SQL Server has different connections, you can see there's different authentication methods we can choose. And so every connector that you interact with will offer you different ways to connect. Let's just go ahead and cancel back out of that. Now, once you have the connections set up, you can navigate to connections through the breadcrumb here, or we could have went back to data and connections over here on the left. And so now you'll see the different connections that are available to you. You can manage these, so we can hit the ellipses here, and I could edit, I could switch the account, I can delete, so giving me options to manage these. As well, give me 1 second here, we're going to create one that is broken. There we go, so now I have a broken one on the screen. And so here you can see that you will occasionally see when your connectors need to be fixed that it will alert you. So it says, hey, you can't sign in, and then clicks on Fix Connection here, and then this will walk you through reestablishing the connection for that particular instance of the connector. So you'll see different options here once again based on your connector, but the ability to fix connections is another nice piece. Another thing to consider is that sometimes you'll be like, hey, I see connectors here that I don't remember creating or using. So this is an interface if you want to create the connection and make it available ahead of time. But also when you're using things like your templates, and then let's say we search for Microsoft Teams, press enter. And so if we go to use this connector that has Teams and Outlook, you'll notice at the bottom of the screen that you don't currently have connections. So what's going to happen here is if we say continue, Flow didn't prompt us, but it went ahead and helped us establish those initial connections. So if we navigate back over to data and then connections, we'll say OK because we don't need to save this flow. You can see that now the Office 365 and Teams connectors were added. So a lot of the connections will automatically get created for you the first time you use them. And there you have it. Now you understand how connections work inside of Power Automate. And remember, they also will show up and be available in Power Apps as well.